My name is Q. I'm an event producer in the entertainment industry. This podcast is me and my colleagues talking about how we got into the business, offering career advice, and just chatting about whatever's happening in the world today. Please enjoy. Well, first of all, I appreciate you hopping on this, man. It's
No
really awesome to chat
problem.
with you.
Yeah, I'm excited because this is my first time being in a podcast, and I have thought about maybe having my own, but
Really?
I don't know. I'm just scared to talk, you know.
Why?
Well, because sometimes I think in Spanish,
hmm
and it takes me a while to translate it. So I'm
Okay.
like, oh my God, if somebody's listening to me and here I am like 5 seconds trying to think for the word,
hmm
they're gonna be like, oh no.
I got you. So is English your second language?
Yes.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
understandable. I mean, we're already into the show. We've already started. Well, I'm starting here when you talked about starting a podcast. If that's something you really want to do, then also do it. I think George Lopez. I'm not sure. Did you ever watch his
Yeah.
like original TV show? I
Yes.
used to find it funny that he will always, whenever he got mad, of course the show was in English, but he'd get mad, he'll start speaking in Spanish. I thought that was
Right,
just
right.
hilarious. I think keep to that. That's a demographic you may have, so
Yeah,
you
for
never know.
sure.
I love it. I love it. Well, first of all, welcome to another episode of the Cue It Up podcast. I have a amazing, talented individual on the line. I met this young lady at one of the many shows we worked back in the day. Back
Yeah.
back in the day when we used to have shows. Kid, it's sad, man. We're gonna be in
It
the
is
history
very
books.
sad.
We're gonna
Yeah,
be in the history books. People are gonna study us like, man, the year
for real.
2020.
Crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. But back when I was working concerts, we do a lot of production assistant work, a lot of VIP work, and
hmm
I get to interact with a lot of different individuals that come and help. And I've been doing it for years. But there are only certain people in my life that I had an opportunity to work with that I keep at the top of my list of I would want to work with that person again. Because you work with some I'm a cuss some shitty people that you like. I don't want to
Yeah.
ever see you again in life, but
Yeah.
there are some people that come around and you just know that they are a hard worker. They are there to learn. They are about their business and they are trying to make something of themselves. And I saw that in you the first day we interacted.
Oh,
And
thank you.
every time a show came up and it was like, hey man, do you know anybody that can work this show? You were a part of that group of people now. Of course, you're
Yeah.
part of Facebook now and stuff like that because we saw that in you. So,
Right.
welcome to the stage, Alexa Rodriguez.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be
Uh,
here.
awesome. I really appreciate you hopping on. I know you've
No
been
problem.
busy. You working at
Yeah.
iHeart doing your thing over there.
Right.
I just want you to take this time to tell people a little bit about yourself and what you do for a living.
Well, yeah, so I'm Alexa. Nice to meet everyone. So right now I work for iHeart. I'm a digital content coordinator. So mostly what that means is that I manage social media mostly. It's for 6 radio stations here in
Mhm.
Houston. They're all local. I was brought in mostly to be part of the Beat. So 93.7 The Beat.
Mhm.
That's my main account that I need to manage, and it's been great. I love it. I just accomplished a whole year working at iHeart, and it's pretty good.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, man. Well, let's go back to the beginning. You said you're not initially from the states.
Yeah.
That English is your second language. So where are you initially from?
Well, I was born in Laredo, Texas, which is
Okay,
the border.
okay,
So my mom is from Laredo. My dad is from Mexico. So we
okay.
lived like our whole childhood, my brother and I, in Mexico.
hmm
And then we moved to the US in high school.
Oh,
I was
okay.
a junior, and we moved over here. And ever since I've been over here. But yeah, English is my second language.
hmm
And here I am trying.
Hey, English is your second language, and you are controlling the social media of a media giant, iHeartMedia, and you're
Yeah,
controlling the voice of that brand. So that speaks
right.
volume to you as a professional. So you should definitely be very proud of yourself for what you've accomplished.
Thank you, Q.
here.
So
What?
nice.
No, man, it's true, man. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not a type of person that sugarcoats anything. I
Right.
try to speak from the heart as much as possible.
Hmm.
So you went to Tomball High School, is that
I
correct?
did.
Awesome, awesome.
Yes.
Graduated. So what was the next steps for you in regards to your education?
Well, when I was in Tombow, I really didn't know what I wanted to do or where to go, mostly like college wise.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know about like a ton of colleges besides the ones in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, well, I know I like music. I have always liked music. When I lived in Mexico, I would always listen to English music. That's the only thing I would listen to.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always beg my parents to take me to concerts because we lived in like Monterrey, Mexico, which is the second largest city.
Okay.
And we could see a bunch of artists there because they would go and stop by for tours.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I was like, where can I do something that has to do with like kind of music related or maybe like something to do with business and social media.
Yeah.
And that's when I started like looking up stuff online and I found out that I could go to St. Edward's University in
Oh,
Austin
okay.
and I studied digital media management
Mm-hmm.
and I focused mostly in the music industry. So that's what I thought and that's what I did.
Nice. And you went there. You got a 4 year degree, a bachelor's, correct?
Yes, I did.
Awesome, awesome. So, in between that time while in school, did you have any opportunities from a working aspect to you pretty much utilize, doing
Yeah.
internships or working these shows and be a PA or anything like that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's when I started.
Hmm.
I really wanted to find ways to go to all these concerts and music festivals without paying a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, I need to find a way. And I saw that there was a bunch of street teams.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay, let me see how I can get into this stuff and get into this area in the music. So that's when I found out about Score More shows.
Okay.
So I think
For those who not familiar with Score More, could you quickly tell them what that is?
oh yeah, so Score More Shows is a music production company and they have a bunch of festivals
Okay.
and they run a bunch of shows mostly here in Texas.
Hmm.
Um, they have like Jambalaya Music Festival, Neon
Hmm.
Desert, Malaluna Music Festival, Dreamville, also Astroworld.
Hmm.
And I think that's all, unless I'm missing one.
Okay, that's enough. I mean, I think they got the gist of it. That's a lot
Yeah,
of great festivals. Dreamville and Astroworld, those are two major
yeah,
festivals. And
super big.
Jambalaya started, I
Hmm.
want to say 3 or 4 years ago when they started that venture. So
Yeah.
they've been putting on some major events over the years. So that's awesome. But apologies for interrupting. I'll let you continue.
Oh, no problem. So yeah, so that's when I looked up shows, and a lot of shows were booked by Scoremore. So
Hmm.
that's when I was like, okay, let me see how this works. And then um, I was an ambassador for Jambalaya, I believe, 2017,
Okay.
and that was for um, the festival. And that's when I met a bunch of people that worked all of the festivals and we're doing like street team stuff. And then
Hmm.
later on, I was brought in to be part of the street team in Austin and in Houston since I was over here too.
Okay.
And that's how I started the whole like doing social media for music festivals is starting with like street teams and selling tickets and stuff like that. And then um, I was brought in to do like social media intern,
Hmm.
and that's how I started helping out with doing like the social media posts for some of the festivals with
That's
them.
amazing, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because right now, social media is a big thing. I feel like if you've gone to school 2012 after, social media is just it's a prime part of any organization. Every organization you can think of has a social media department, and
Yeah.
it's definitely critical to the marketing and branding of that organization. So, when it comes to festivals, you are out there capturing what
Right.
it's like to be at a festival. Somebody who may not. have a artist, a favorite artist at that
Mhm.
show, but you still trying to create some type of branding to entice them to come try to listen to someone new or just to experience and
Yeah.
trying to capture that. So that's absolutely amazing. So I'm gonna pause for a second because I have this segment called Top Five.
Mhm.
So with you, you've done a lot of different shows. You've been to a lot of different ones, even with school more and
Yeah.
outside. What are your top five shows that you've ever attended, rather it's work or attended on your own?
Hmm. That's a great question. I really I think one of the top ones would be when I saw it was J Balvin
Mm,
2018.
okay,
I went and saw him at the Sugarland at the
okay. Smart Financial.
my financial center, correct?
Hmm.
And I mean, at that point, I was like still trying to figure out what I was gonna do after I graduated college and working stuff here and there. And then a year later, I was asked to work his show, um, also at Sugarland. So it was the same venue and everything. So it came out like full circle, and that's one of the, I guess, my best memories that I have working like production assistant jobs.
Nice.
And what else? Shows Young Thug. I have seen him a lot. Remember we worked the show.
Yes, we worked that show
Yes,
together.
that was
Yeah.
a great show.
Oh,
I think
absolutely. That
I
was.
think that's one that I really like too.
We got a chance to meet him and MGK in the back because the guy was like, "You guys can go home." He was like, "No, we're gonna stick around.
I
We're
just want
good."
to see him, even though I see him a lot at the festivals and other stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's one of the top ones. Who else? Maluma. I love Maluma.
Hmm.
Mostly like Latin artists. Um, he's great. I was able to do his meet and greet last year, and
Okay.
that was a thing I really wanted to do. Um, who else? Um, Festivals, Astroworld for sure. Even though
Astro.
I didn't see that much because I was working,
Hmm.
but just being there and the whole experience and the vibe, it's really great. Like it's something I had never experienced before
Okay.
at a festival or show. Um, I think, am I missing one?
Yeah, you just got one more.
Who else? Hmm. At this point, I probably have worked more shows than actually seen them. But,
Mm.
but let me see. Um,
I guess well let's use your last one. We're going into 2021 and
yeah.
shows might return and they may look a little different. Who will be the first artist that you will really want to see at this point?
Ooh, I really want to see Bad Bunny.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I saw Bad Bunny, South by Southwest. I think it was 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he was doing a show at a food truck in Austin,
Oh.
and I saw it on social media, and I was like, "Oh my God, I need to find him," because I didn't know where he was exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So by looking on social media and like Instagram and stuff, I found it, but I was late. Like he left.
Oh man.
So then I asked around, and they told me that he was gonna be somewhere else
Mm-hmm.
at this dance academy. So I was like, okay, bet. So I went to the dance academy, paid like $5, and saw him perform, I think, 4 songs.
Oh,
That
hey,
was good for me.
hey,
But
that's
I
not
really,
bad.
yeah, but I really want to see him live, like an actual concert. So whenever that we can do that again, that's the
Mm-hmm.
first artist I'll see.
I got you, man. $5, you can't beat that for a show. Even though it's
Yeah,
4 songs, did you? Was it? I guess how many people would you say were in the space?
I
Did
think,
you close enough to him
yeah,
at all?
yeah, it was pretty close. I mean, he wasn't that big in like you could say the US maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people didn't know him that much,
Mm-hmm.
but I think there was like about like 40 people in there.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
So
not bad.
it wasn't that much people.
I got you. I posted a picture of you when I was doing my meet the artist segment, and one picture that really stood out was you meeting Megan the Stallion.
Yes.
How was that experience?
Well, it was my first week working at iHeart.
Oh yeah.
And they literally told me, okay, well, you're gonna start, and like at the end of the week we have what is called beat batch for like
Yes. Mm-hmm.
93.7 the beat,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like a concert, kind of like a festival
Mm-hmm.
that they do for the radio station. So it was gonna be, or it was like Megan Thee Stallion, YG, Future, McMill, um, at the pavilion in the Woodlands.
Mm-hmm.
So I was brought in, and I was like, okay, so you have to go and help out with like interviews, and I was like, okay, cool. So then the first person that comes in is Megan, and with Ashley,
Okay. Ashley on
Ashley
air.
on air. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So she did all the interviews, and it was Megan and also YG. So it was cool. I mean, um, my boss was like, if you want to take a picture, you can. And I was like, okay, great.
Hey,
So I did.
that's
And that's
fine.
how it all happened.
Absolutely, man. Were you since then? Did you ever have an opportunity to get into her music at all?
Yeah. I think when she did, what was it called?
What
The ranch.
Savage?
I think that's, was it Savage? No, it was before that. That she did like a pop up thing in
Oh,
Houston.
for her fever mixtape. Yeah, I remember that
Yes,
one.
with like Spotify.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I was brought in to work that show,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw her live there, and it was great. So I really have been following her like music and stuff since then.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, well, I'll see her now again. But yeah.
Okay. Let's going back to you being at Scoremore. So as an intern, what was some of your responsibilities and duties, and how did those responsibilities and duties help you get into your current role?
Yeah, so shout out to Madison. She was my boss.
Mm-hmm.
Like she had seen me before, like working street team and stuff, and then um one time it all started because one time I saw Sasha at an event that he was speaking about like his career and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I told him like, hey man, like I've been working street team for you for a while. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Send me an email. And I did. And then he's like, okay, well, we'll connect you with like marketing and see if we can help you out with an internship or something. So it was really mostly like um being like her second hand and like helping out with anything she needed.
Mm-hmm.
I started with an account called Alamo City Music Hall. It's a
Okay.
venue in San Antonio, or it was because I think it closed.
Oh yeah.
So I was helping out doing like all the posts for the shows that were coming up and like events that were happening there. And then little by little, like Madison introduced me to the festivals and like scheduling posts for them and helping out with like if artists were posting about the festivals, and now we had to reach out to them and make sure that they were doing um, the social post as well. And then so after I graduated college, it came like a contract job or like a freelance job. So I started actually working like the whole accounts for mostly like Neon Desert. That's a
Mm-hmm.
music festival in El Paso.
Yeah.
And um, I was glad because I was able to like speak Spanish in there too and like
Mm-hmm.
learn, well, like talk about like artists that were like Latin artists that
Mm-hmm.
would go there. And it was great. Like that really helped me get my role in iHeart because the people at iHeart knew Score more, and they had like, ties with them for like shows and stuff in
Mm-hmm.
Houston that were going um, around. So then when I applied, so shout out to Ashley on air because she posted it on Twitter that she was looking for someone to work with the beat, and then that's how I applied, and yeah, so that's how it's been.
Absolutely, man.
Connections, and networking, everyone.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
That's what it takes, man. Especially in this business. People like I love Houston. We're so large, but when you think about entertainment, we're so small.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows everyone, and that's my biggest thing is reputation. And that's why I'm always like very, very I try to be very professional whenever I go, and that's just my personality or whatever it
Mhm.
is because I know my actions here will affect the next thing. And
Yes.
even I work a concert at NRG Park that's going to affect the opportunity that I may get in Dallas or Austin because you never know who knows who, especially when you're
Right.
dealing with companies such as Scoremore, CID, Live Nation, etc. All these people talk to each other, and you understand how we get jobs. Sometimes they'll just shoot a text message and say, "Hey, can you recommend a couple of
Yeah.
people?" And it just takes that one saying, "Hey, don't never hire this guy again." So I don't want to ever be on that boat where I get ousted because of me providing bad service to anyone. So reputation is everything in this industry. But I absolutely love it. I wouldn't do anything else, man.
Yeah, it's great. And like, I don't think you remember, but I am pretty sure the first time I met you was at the Pepe Aguilar show.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I was. I think I was just there shooting photos for that
Right.
show.
So I was doing the VIP and with
Hmm.
some other guy, I don't remember who,
Hmm.
but and that's where I met Sarah.
Sarah Silva. Yes.
Yes, and I met her there, and then she kindly enough started like referring me to other people, and I was like, that's how I started getting more roles, and I, so shout out to Sarah.
Yeah, man.
It's
Sarah's
great,
the
like
that's
yeah.
fam. Yeah, like I said, you never know. And even how I got into doing concerts and stuff like that was me doing a great job with the Rockets because
Hmm.
shows would come through Toyota Center and they would
Right.
ask for help. And because my manager saw that I was doing a great job and knew that I had a professional a property to me. She recommended me to start doing it, and I completely fell in love. And I just started to create these relationships with all these touring managers and everybody that came through the
Hmm.
city. So now, whenever they come to Houston, they know to reach out to me or the Houston group that we have
Hmm.
because they know we're going to provide a professional service to whatever they need at that time. So yeah, it is absolutely great. So going into CID, I see that's a part of a freelance. How did you get to that opportunity?
Well, so after I graduated college, um, it was just hard to find like a full-time job,
Hmm.
and stuff like that. I was doing freelance for like Score More festivals and other stuff too. And then I found out about CID just looking it up online. Most of the stuff I find online. So I looked it up and I was like, okay, how can I start working shows? Because I had worked some shows at Warehouse Live
Hmm.
mostly. And
Hmm.
so those shows are like smaller, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then I was like, okay, I want to work other shows. I have some experience now.
Hmm.
So I found CID and then I started working shows. I think my first show was Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig.
Yes. It was great though. Like I learned a lot. I learned how
Hmm.
to like do the whole like setting up the stuff for the kids, and
Hmm.
like um signing in people and like making sure like you answer all the questions. And
Hmm.
it really helped because I since I know Spanish, sometimes people are like want someone to speak Spanish too for
Yeah.
some artists and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's how I found out about CID, and then that led to like VIP Nation and what else? Well, the Jonas Brothers and
Bruh,
stuff like that.
you were
Yeah,
at that show, right? The one in Houston?
yeah, with Justine and
That was a fire show.
Nicole. Yes.
I'm not a big Jonas Brothers fan, but just the VIP setup. I get excited when an artist thinks about the VIP. Just
Hmm.
when even when Justin Timberlake did his show when he had the bars and stuff. Jonas Brothers did something similar to have the
Yeah.
VIP bars in the back, and at portion of the show they came to the back and they start performing right there, and you
Yeah.
were literally 2 feet from them. So
Yeah. But it was crazy though, because their security is like on top of everything. Like you
hmm.
cannot really see them
Oh
only
yeah.
when you take the picture and
Hmm.
that's about it. And
Yeah.
like they make sure like the girls don't have anything on them. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And I forget like, well, because those artists are like super big and you never know. And that's that's how it works now.
Absolutely. And I'm just gonna be honest and realistic. Like Meet and greets are not happening for any time soon. Even if we start having
That's what,
shows,
yeah, that's what I was talking about with one of my friends. I was like, how is that gonna work? I don't think there's a way now,
mm-mm.
for a
If I was
while.
if I was an art, and the thing is, that was a big revenue stream for a lot of artists selling
Mm-hmm.
those additional packages. And sometimes those packages came with merch. You can possibly
Mm-hmm.
still do the merch stuff and the first come first serve and be creative, but in regards to
Yeah.
interacting with the artist, I just don't see it anytime soon, and I wouldn't risk it at this point. You're already risking your life just getting back on the road and getting on the stage, and just think about the process before they even get on stage. They got to go through rehearsals and sound checks and all these different things. So, yeah, it's definitely gonna be an interesting time with when concerts come back.
Yeah. We'll
Uh,
see how would that work with us, right? Like working shows and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like this year it's been weird. Just talking to my family, it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, man, Q, I haven't seen you this much in years. I'm like, well, ain't nothing going on.
Exactly.
But like 2018 was the year of shows, man. I always go back. That was the year we had Justin Timberlake, Logic, Childish Gambino, Drake, Beyonce, like
Hmm.
everybody in a row. Bow, bow, bow. I haven't seen a lineup like that since. And I thought 2020 would be the year that we would have a similar lineup.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people working on albums. Drake was about to drop his stuff.
Hmm.
Beyonce was working on her stuff, but she had to pivot to, put that work towards Disney Plus, and where she dropped Amazing Project. But still,
Right.
I want to see Beyonce again, bro. She's an amazing
Yeah.
performer. So with the world pretty much going to a pause, and with your job as a social media coordinator, how did the station pretty much keep you busy? Because events wasn't happening, concerts
Hmm.
were happening. What were some of your responsibilities during, I guess, this downtime we have?
Yeah, so my responsibilities started growing. I
Hmm.
started branching out to other stations.
Okay.
Because since I started mostly with the beat,
Hmm.
so then I usually help out with Sunny. So
Okay.
Sunny 99.1.
Hmm.
Um, also Buzz. So yeah, so I started helping out with more stations and like with podcasts with like Dana in the morning. She has a podcast called Houston Woman. So
Okay.
I help out with like booking their guests and stuff like that.
Okay.
Um, a lot of blog posts.
Yeah.
So finding ways to like create more content online. Also, another thing that we have been doing now is instead of, that we'll do like talent appearances
Yeah. Yeah.
at places like Walmart, Target, and stuff like
Yeah.
that, or Cricket Wireless.
Oh yeah, cricket. They love
Um,
cricket.
yeah. So now it's really difficult because like they cannot meet like, Carmen or
Hmm.
DJ Superstar, stuff like that.
Hmm.
So we started doing like live streams on Facebook mostly.
Hmm.
So we would just go, or I would go with like Carmen and do a live stream at Kroger, and people could see it online. And then if they stayed the whole video and watched the whole thing, we would usually give out like a gift card or a prize.
Hmm.
And so that's another way we have been trying to like find stuff to do during this pandemic and like interact with the audience.
Okay, that's good, man. Uh, as as a, I guess, just platform that's strictly radio, and of course, if you download
Hmm.
the app, you can listen from your phone and stuff like
Yes.
that. Is it pretty difficult to compete with your music streaming services, such as your Spotify's and your Apple Musics and Pandora's,
Um,
excuse me?
I think so. I really don't know much about that kind of stuff,
Okay.
but I know when the whole shutdown happened, it was hard for us to get like listeners since nobody was going to work.
Yeah.
People go to work and listen to the radio on the way there,
Hmm.
or like they have to pick up their children from school or take them to school.
Hmm.
So ratings went down, but um, so that's when we were like, okay, we have the app, like they can listen to us anywhere basically
Hmm.
on their phone or tablet. So we have to promote that too. We also started doing like audio post on our station so that we can talk about a little bit um, of the talent, what they were gonna do on the show and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, and
Mm-hmm.
give a little preview to the people that follow us on socials, and that way they could tune in. Um, so yeah, but now that it's kind of opening, or people are going back to work and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
going back to, well, it's not going back to normal, but you know,
Yeah,
it's going back.
some
Yeah,
type of normacy, or what you can say normacy. I say
yeah,
quotations around normacy.
right.
Awesome. Well, how much creative freedom do you have in regards to, putting stuff up?
Mhm.
Is it I shoot the materials, I edit materials, and I post it out, or is there like a screening process, like you have to get permission or anything like that?
Um, for the beat, not really.
Okay.
I was brought in since I knew kind of the audience and how does that work, and people that love like hip hop and rap and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the stuff, if it's not talent related, it's me posting either stories or memes and blog posts.
Mm-hmm.
For other stations, yeah, I usually try to get approval and like talk to my coworkers and see what they think, since they know more like their audience and
Okay.
stuff like that.
Okay.
But I mean, I think we have a lot of creative freedom to do a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
We work alongside the talents, which I think it's great. Like, so I work a lot with Dana Tyson for like Sunny,
Mm-hmm.
with Carmen Contreras for like the beat. Shout
Love
out to
Carmen.
Carmen. I
Yeah.
love her.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's a radio icon, and I think it was like the second week I started working.
Mm-hmm.
We really connected, and since she's like Latina and she speaks Spanish and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and it was great because when I moved here, um, I I remember listening to her on the radio, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, cool.
Yeah. I actually embarrassed myself in front of her and Ashley one day.
Really?
It was for the Drake show.
Okay.
And shout out to Justine who hooked me up. I didn't even get chosen to work the Drake show, but I didn't like go. I was just like, man, dang it, can't work Drake. I
Yeah.
guess I'll see him next time. And Justine just happened to get sick, and she said, "Hey Q, do you want to work Drake?" I'm like, "Do I?" I've never take somebody back so fast. And I worked the first two shows, and of course the third
Yeah.
show didn't have a VIP. But went to work the show, and of course we do the VIP check-in,
Hmm.
and of course you have those special tickets, which
Hmm.
go to talent, radio hosts, or anybody
Yeah.
within the city. And I knew who Carmen was, and she came and started talking to me. I just recognized her voice, and I looked up. Oh, yeah, I know who you are.
Right?
Um,
Yeah.
but I was told prior to we started that we had a certain amount of tickets that weren't there at the moment, and they gave me
Hmm.
a list of names, and I was so like caught up in just talking with her and just
Hmm.
and who she was at that moment, and I completely kept overlooking her name. It was probably seven names, and I'm like, I don't see you on the list.
Where is
I
it?
don't know. I don't know what
But
happened.
you're like, but I know you, and
I
I know
know
you're
you here. I know
supposed
you're
to
not
be.
lying.
Yeah.
I said, hey man, this is Carmen, man. She's supposed to be on the list. We
Yeah.
got to get her in there. But the Torque end up coming up there and helping them out. So they're cute. She's right here. I'm like, well, won't you
Right.
look at that? I said, well,
Yeah.
if I ever
It's
apply for a job for iHeart, I'm probably never going to get it. But oh well.
Oh yeah, no, but yeah, Justine, man, I love her too. She has
Yeah.
been great.
Yeah.
Um, one of the first people I met probably working shows like as
Hmm.
VIP and production assistant.
Absolutely.
She's always been so nice to me,
Yeah.
which I appreciate.
Absolutely, Justine, they're fam, man. Absolutely, man. So, what else? So we talked about your creative freedom. Is it strictly just Instagram, or do you have the freedom to dive into the YouTube, the TikToks, the Snapchats, and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we have Snapchat. We don't use it that often.
Mm-hmm.
We do have TikTok. We
Oh,
tried it. Um, but now since I haven't been in the office, I have been working from home.
okay.
It's a little bit hard to get like the talent to do videos, right? when they're
Uh-huh.
busy and doing their stuff right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, we have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so all the social media that you can think of, we do have one.
I got you. I got you. That's amazing, man. Yeah, just the social media aspect. Like I said, that's a big factor for any type of business. That is the
Yeah.
branding. That's how you get people the knowledge that they need about whatever's happening within the city or within that company itself. So it's amazing that you have such an important role within the organization. And I'm definitely proud of you for doing what
Thank
you've
you.
done so much, man. So you've been at iHeart for a year.
Hmm.
Are you gonna be at iHeart for the next 20 years? Is that you've made it? You're done?
I don't know.
Hmm.
I love it. I love iHeart. I love radio. That's something that I always wanted to be part of.
Hmm.
Ever since like I was a little girl, I would listen to the radio and I was like, why can I not listen to English music? Like rap and hip hop. It's all Spanish.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, that was a big goal of mine to
Hmm.
do radio at some point.
Okay.
Um, I really want to work more with Latin artists,
Okay.
Latin, anything that has to do with Latin music.
Hmm.
Um, I think that's a place where I can like strive and like do something bigger and
Okay.
like find something.
Will it be in the
Um,
digital content aspect, or would you think about being a talent yourself, or
oh
what are some of your
no,
goals?
oh, Q, I don't sing.
No, no, not singing. Like being a radio personality or something. Like
Oh
start doing the interview aspect.
yeah,
Like
I
right
mean,
now, you're behind the camera. Would you be in front of the
right.
camera?
Maybe. I
Okay.
don't. Maybe. You never know. You'll see me
Absolutely.
next time.
Absolutely. I'm gonna be like, I know her. She's on the
Yeah.
radio. I'm gonna
Right.
see your billboard on 59 and 610. I'm like, I
Yeah.
know her.
Yeah.
Yeah, go tune in. That's awesome, man. But like I said, I'm really proud of everything that you accomplished, and you still continuing to do great things. From a social media aspect of things, what things do what steps do you take to help keep your content fresh?
Yeah. We do a lot of research.
Okay.
Um, we have to keep up with the trends. Always
Uh-huh.
like the news. News are important. Twitter helps out a lot
Okay.
with a lot of stuff that's going on
Mm-hmm.
like the music industry or the city. Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. Also scheduling stuff
Okay.
helps a lot too, since we have a lot of brands. On radio stations, we have to make sure like my coworkers like Noe and Robert, we have to schedule stuff and make sure we don't double post.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's how we do it.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Well, in regards to somebody who wants to eventually walk and fill your shoes one day, what advice would you give to, I guess, a recent college graduate or somebody looking to step into the entertainment industry? What would you tell them?
To keep going. I know
Hmm.
it's really hard. The music industry can be a lot sometimes, and there's a lot of people trying to do the same thing. But you're gonna find your way, and there's a lot of stuff in the music industry that you can do besides being an artist. I
Hmm.
think a lot of people think that's the only way to go,
Hmm.
but there's like I never knew that I could do social media that had to do with like music. That was not a
Hmm.
thing, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, just keep going, hustle, find any opportunity that you can. Sometimes it won't be paid. I know that.
Oh yeah.
It won't be paid, and I know people are gonna be like, "How? Why are you taking this? If they're not gonna pay you and stuff like that." But you get
Hmm.
connections,
Hmm.
and you start like meeting a lot of cool people. And I think the music community like helps each other a lot.
Hmm.
So that's a great thing. Like find people that do the same thing that you want to do, and reach out. And I'm pretty sure they're gonna help you in some way.
Absolutely. Connections is absolutely the best, especially LinkedIn. I try to keep my
Yeah.
LinkedIn as clean and concise as possible. I was on your website when I was doing research in regards to doing the Meet the Artist, man. You have a very, very beautiful website
Thank you,
and
Q.
great job on that.
Thanks. I
Uh,
tried. I tried to display the whole thing, and I was like, maybe it's too much.
no, man. It was just like if I went to your website, one, I know what you do and I know the work that you have done. It's like
Yeah.
a easy. That's I'm in a manager role, and I had the opportunity to be on both sides of the table. I had
Uh-huh.
the opportunity to be the person trying to get the job, and I had the
Yeah.
opportunity to be the person trying to give somebody a job. Man, going through resumes and searching
Yeah.
through LinkedIn's and Facebooks and websites, I'm just like, bro, I don't have the time for this. And you have
Right.
hundreds of resumes to go through, but going to someone who's clean, concise, easy to read, that I
Yeah.
can scan through it and absolutely know what you do and what you can bring to the table is important, man. So yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing that people need to know. They have to have a portfolio. I
Mm-hmm.
think for like social media management,
Mm-hmm.
portfolio is a great thing. You can start with like uh projects that you did in college and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, also like all your social media,
Mm-hmm.
it has to be like kind of related and like um that's how it helped me too. With iHeart and getting my job, I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's very important to, if you want to work in the social media or like tech space.
Okay. Awesome. I'm gonna ask you another question. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if you will know it, but it kind of has something. It has to do with social media, but also has to do with music licensing. So a lot of record labels over this past year have been cracking down on the usage of their music via social media in
Hmm.
regards to companies. So they've been a lot of companies, who utilize IG and they'll put in a Meg The Stallion song or a Slim Thug song or Beyonce
Yeah.
or Drake or whatever, and now they have the rights to come through and pretty much say you need to take that down or
Hmm.
you need to pay us x amount of dollars. You guys, as a from your position, did you ever have to worry about that or have to deal with anything like that, or iHeart Media kind of has the rights to utilize those type of things?
Yes, we have to like steer away from posting music
Okay.
mostly on our like social media posts
Mm-hmm.
because it can get flagged
Yeah.
really quickly. Sometimes we can use it if we have it on like the music roster or whatever they use for like the radio host and like DJs.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have to post something and it has music, um, I usually don't do that. And
Absolutely.
so I don't
So
have any problems.
I got you, because my I got friends who work in the entertainment business who
Yeah.
utilize social media a lot, and they're getting flagged a lot, and now
Yeah.
in a sense of just take it down, but it's like they're having law issues as well, that they're currently dealing with. And I was just like, man, we lived in a world where it was just like it wasn't any rules written
Mhm.
for this. When social media came, it just took over, and nobody knew what to do with it. But we're starting to get more laws in place, in which I understand. As an artist, I want to be paid for my work because
Yeah.
we watch so many documentaries where artists they perform for millions of people and they never saw a dime or anything like that. So I don't want ever any artist to have to deal with that, like they're owed their money. But I look at an app like TikTok. How do you get away with something like that? And it's very confusing to me because the premise of TikTok is
Hmm.
they utilize a lot of other people's songs, and
Yeah.
it's in a lot of social media people, in regards to personalities, they get to use that music. Are you
Hmm.
not considered a corporate entity because you're making money based off the your account interactions and stuff like that? So I was just confused, and I was just curious about something like that. Are you familiar with that?
Um, Not really, but like what I have seen is like all of the top 10 songs are TikTok songs.
Hmm.
So it's helping like somewhere in there something's happening and it's
Yeah.
helping them like
Hmm.
their songs like become more popular, and then you
Hmm.
hear them on the radio as well
Hmm.
after like their star being popular online first, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and I feel like it's going both ways, and it's just a lot of gray area out there, and once again, like I said, I absolutely promote the artist getting paid and getting
Hmm.
their credit due where it needs to be, but as a creative, it definitely puts a damper on your freedom to get your content out there and be uh, as creative as you want to in regards to your content and what you do and
Hmm.
how you approach it. But it's a weird world out there right now, so.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. So, one, Alexa, I appreciate you hopping on. This has been an amazing show. I just want you to take this time to let the people know whatever you have going on in your life, you want to promote anything, etc. It's all yours.
Well, you guys can follow me on Instagram at Alexa RDZ if you want to see what is going on. Usually, I post a lot of things that have to do with music, some of some sort, and or on Twitter. I love Twitter.
Oh,
It's
nice.
also Alexa RDC, but it has Alexa RDC X. Um, but yeah, I post a lot of stuff that I like or songs that I'm listening to.
Hmm.
Um, what else? I have been trying to do like a playlist every month.
Okay.
Um, so that's a thing I have been doing. So you can find them on my socials. But that's about it. And I'll
Okay.
be working here at home for the radio.
That's awesome, man. But it's still a blessing, man. I know so many
Yes,
people who didn't have the opportunity to
right.
be where we are today. So it's
Yeah,
definitely blessings on blessings on blessings, man.
right,
Keep it
right.
going. Keep going, man. But that's
Yeah.
awesome. Alexa, once again, I appreciate you hopping on the show. Do you have any more last words for the people?
Um, it was great being here. I loved talking about my whole journey
Hmm.
and what's going on, and I hope it inspires somebody out
Oh,
there,
it will. It
and
will.
see that that there's like different paths that you can take to explore in within the music industry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Alexa, thank you once again. And this has been another episode of the Q It Up podcast.